Is
They
it
set
just
her
me,
up.
or were you guys like nauseous when you were watching The Born Identity because the camera keeps
Which
shaking and
one?
shit? I
Which
mean, just
one?
pick
The
one.
show?
Just no,
Oh, the
just pick
actual
a
film?
movie.
Oh, they're classics. They're classics, except for Legacy. Love Jeremy
I
Renner,
just
but
I
it's
just
like
need a
Tokyo Drift.
I just
Like
need a
this
Yeah,
nice,
it's
doesn't
a
fit
Tokyo Drift
here.
at
I
the
need a
same.
nice stable camera. I don't need to
Nah,
be
I'm
man.
I don't need
sorry
this.
that 20 years ago somebody didn't have the right rig. Okay, 20 years ago they went up to par. Hey, bro, I don't know what you
Hey,
shoot. I don't know what you
relax,
shooting over
bro.
there, cuz. I don't know
Whoa.
what you shooting over there,
Hey,
fam.
your
But this
face
ain't
was
that.
too close. Too close for
Relax,
I
us.
wasn't about
relax.
the face. All I
We
see is
talked
bad.
about we talked about OnlyFans before. We gotta support each other here, okay? We will support each other no matter what.
He's got a
That's what we
sub
want
and
to do.
Supposed to
everything.
wear a mask.
We
Ski
Camera
support.
mask.
We
Ski
sup-
below
mask.
your head, Evan. You can't
Ski
show these
mask.
people your face.
Pause. Ski mask.
we support each other here, okay, guys? That's listen.
Butthole only, Evan. No face.
Evan, what's going on here, yo?
Evan, why were you not prepared before you even let us in? What sale was on downstairs that you had to be late?
He was making sure his lineup was tight.
Whatever said it was, they was down there selling out. I leave it at that.
What were they selling you on TV, Evan? What'd you buy?
No more questions.
No QVC.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. I'm your guy Hans with my boys Evan, Lou.
I really hate that it works for him, yo.
Hey man, everybody gotta have the little intro, man. And we have our pod Mamba here with us behind the scenes, coaching us, making sure that we are produced to perfection. Thank you for joining us today. To start off the show, I know, along with everybody else, we all remember where we were and what we were doing when the tragedy befell us, losing a legend and a GOAT within his own right, Kobe Bryant. I know that the news was a shocker for myself, especially coming off a personal high. It was the weekend that I got legally married. And I remember vividly where I was on the turnpike, and my boy Lou here was the one who hit me up and, let me know that we tragically lost Kobe Bryant. And we thought that it'd be fit that to start off this year, 2024, the new year, Happy New Year to everybody, by the way, that we would give homage to the great Kobe Bryant. I know for one, I have never hated, but yet respected a man so much as a Portland Trailblazers fan myself.
Tracy McGrady fan.
Right, exactly. As a T-Mac fan too, I was riding for the Rockets for a bit as well, and Magic, and every time we run into Kobe Bean, it was something else. It was something to behold, and he has broken so many hearts. And one of my favorite commercials is the "I Hate You" commercials when he's singing it on and he's orchestrating it. But yeah, and still, there's something about Kobe. There's something about greatness, right? In that you can both hate it, but yet admire it and respect it at the same time. And starting off this year, 24, fitting Kobe 24, even though I don't think he's won over Jordan, but we'll get into that. Um, I think it'd be fitting for us to give time and to kind of really just talk about Kobe and what he means to us and what he means to the league and his legacy. Ev, I'll start with you. I know that you are one who loves to get into the GOAT debates. I know you'll be quick to point out certain things about different players and their stature compared to the GOATs. My question off the bat for you, as far as Kobe's GOAT status, where do you see him in this farm? Where the goats, this pasture of goats that we have in the NBA, this Hall of Fame of goats that we have in the NBA? Where is Kobe? What makes Kobe stand out in the midst of all the goats that we have?
Choose your words carefully, Evan.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we
There
go.
we go.
I love it. I love it. And let me do this first. You know, I know it's a somber topic, but we're gonna bring the energy up here a little bit. Hans in the Trailblazer was coming out of him in the intro right
Oh,
there.
I
So
mean, listen, man. I told you I hated, but respected the guy. What more do you want, man? I'm not fake, man.
Listen, you pass the ball.
You're here to speak the truth on this platform.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Cat.
Hey,
No
hey.
cat. Ha.
This is
Go ahead.
a safe space. All right. So Hans, you passed the ball for me. You know what I'm good for, dribbling around for a minute. So I'm gonna see where I go before I pass this out. But listen, man, this is the year 24, the year of the Mamba. So let's get this conversation going right, man. And the reason that we're bringing it up, not only just for it being the year 24, there's been a lot of Kobe Bryant talk going on in these last couple of days and this last week, and especially when Gilbert Arenas on his podcast brought up, and I'm gonna read what he said. He said, "What makes Kobe special? We don't go by the accolades. We go by how the person played. What was his attributes? We look at the normal person fighting gods." And that's how he described Kobe and Kobe's stature amongst other players, and the respect that they have for him. And I think he encapsulated it pretty well, because when I think of Kobe, it's hard for me to really say exactly where I rank him, because I feel like Kobe in a way he exists like beyond or beside the actual numerical rankings of players. But I think Kobe's one of his most important aspects or attributes or contributions to the league was when Lou's Bulls Michael Jordan retired, right? We existed in a huge vacuum of who's going to fill this role, who's going to pick up this mantle and carry it, and we tried to put it on a lot of people, folks that had no business carrying the name, like Harold Miner. No disrespect to the Miner family. Folks that looked the part but couldn't play the part, like Vince Carter, one of my favorite players of all time. No disrespect to the Carter family, right? And so on and so on. Grant Hill, injuries, couldn't do it. It didn't fit for it to align with a big man like a Shaquille O'Neal who was dominating, or a Tim Duncan who was dominating. But one Kobe Bean Bryant, from the moment that he entered to the league, he took the challenge of carrying this mantle, not only figuratively, but literally, by looking MJ in the eyes in his last couple years, in the league, and saying, "Listen, I'm trying to be right behind you. I'm trying to come at you literally and whatnot," and actually earning the respect of the GOAT himself. And from that moment on, Kobe Bryant embodied what that effort, what that ethic, what that fight, what that dog stood for, right? That we learned from Jordan. He wasn't invincible like Jordan. He had a lot, he had flaws. He had flaws in his game. He had flaws and missteps on his path. But he carried the mantle of I'm the guy in not God form, but in guard form, right? And he did what Jordan was able to do, which not really any guard before Jordan really did, was dominate in a big man's league. And so for that, I mean, I think from a Kobe standpoint, it goes outside of where he is in the top 10. He is a GOAT. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's the GOAT, but he's definitely a GOAT, and that's capital GOAT. When you talk about
Okay,
Kobe Bean
capital.
Bryant.
Put some respect on it.
Absolutely.
Those are nice words, Evan. I really appreciate it.
Hey man,
Oh,
I like
wow.
listen. You'll get no Kobe slander from me, okay? I still yell Kobe every time I hit something in the
Beautiful,
trash
beautiful.
can.
That's what I
So,
like to see. Not
Never.
unlike that guy to your left right here. I don't.
Never. It's Jordan. That's how I grew up doing it. Sorry.
I mean,
You know,
Kobe learned it
there's-
from somebody. Kobe
Let's just
imitated
say.
somebody. So
Kobe being
but the-
Bryant was a student of the game, Lou. I mean, he
he was
learned a lot
in
of things from a
the
lot of
game.
people.
The game was Michael. And look, Ev, I always appreciate Ev's slight jabs because he said the Bulls retired, like what I mean, like we're still not one of the 32 teams that exist in the NBA. But it's fine. It's cool.
I said Jordan retired.
No, you said the
If
Bulls.
I said the Bulls,
the
I
Bulls and Jordan.
apologize.
No, it's all
Definitely
right.
wasn't a
It's all
jab.
right. It's
I was
okay.
talking
It's
Jordan,
okay.
sir.
I mean, it's fine. It's all good. But it's like you guys said, man. It's about Mamba today, and it's a fitting way to start year of 2024. Just looking back and commemorating what Kobe did for the game, and really, I couldn't have said anything more. And then what Evan said and listing out, what he meant for the game and still does mean for the game, and all that he does, or all that he has done, and then then filtered down into his daughter, rest in peace as well, Gigi, who was supposed to be the next coming of him in female form. And mentioning that really to also mention not only what he's done in the NBA, but also the light that he showed on the WNBA, and really being somebody who was a supporter of that publicly and pushing, for it to be as popular or try to be as popular as what we know the NBA is. So it's great that he has his impact on basketball has been long lasting. You know what I mean? And so big respect to the greatest Laker to play the game.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's tough. Some would debate you on that, but that's tough. That's
Not
I'll toss
debatable.
that one to the
It's not
pod monitor
debatable.
right now.
It's not
Kobe Bryant
debatable?
the greatest Laker to play the game, sir.
Not debatable.
wow.
Not debatable.
Okay.
Only to
It's not
Stephen A.
debatable.
Only to Stephen A.
It's not debatable, man. Just saying.
It's not debatable. So he's greater than Magic, Shaq,
Yes.
We ain't see it. We ain't see it long
Kareem,
enough. Shaq ain't start out and as a Laker, bro. Kareem ain't start out and as a Laker.
Look,
I mean,
it's no fault
20
of
years out.
Magic. It's no fault of Magic, but
Yes, it was. You
Kobe-
should have kept it
Kobe-
wrapped up, my boy.
if
Listen,
Kobe's
listen,
longevity,
Respectfully.
Kobe's longevity usurps him in my mind because of the amount of years he played for the Lakers. If Magic had the same amount of years, then it's a
Then it's
really
debatable,
tough
for sure.
conversation. But
Yeah.
what
But
happened
this
happened.
is it. This is it. 20 years,
Wow.
20 years in, 20 years out, man.
Okay. That's all right. That's listen. I'm
Because
shocked
not
at that one.
only do you have the skill set, Hans, but you have the longevity with it. I mean, it's tough to say Magic is the better Laker than Kobe
I mean,
in the history of the organization. I mean, I know a lot of old heads want to have that conversation because they grew up with Magic, and Magic did. I mean, him and Bird revolutionized the NBA. I mean, that business was going down the drain in the 70s. So for him
And I
to
think that's the edge. You get what I'm saying? But to Evan's credit as well, right? Kobe did take that mantle over. He took and stepped into the shadow of Jordan and, made it his own and elevated the game further. And I, for one, as a hater, which I'll say it, number one hater,
I was, for
watching
sure.
as a hater,
sure.
could not deny what I was seeing.
Mhm.
And before it became a saying, we all knew what we were watching when it came to that Mamba mentality. That's one thing I will say about Kobe. I since Jordan have not seen somebody who is able to willfully take over a game and do so with such ferocity.
Mhm.
Like the way Shaq does it is different, and that's what comes to my head. But when Kobe took over a game, it was magnificent. It was a
Mhm.
work of art. It was
Mhm.
exhilarating. Like you felt like you were seeing MJ. It was
Yep.
just so. I what comes to mind first of his last game, right? And we both know there were dual games going on because we were texting, I think, during that time as well too, because the Golden States was going on a historic run as well, and we were flipping back and forth. It was just wild, and I'm not even gonna lie. At one point, I was like, "Yo, f that. This is Kobe." Like as a hater, as a hater, you know, as a hater, I just had to watch. And he unfortunately confirms a popular phrase in pop culture. I don't have any haters, I have fans in denial,
Facts.
you know? And that's what Kobe brings out of you. Like, yeah, you hate me, but you're going to watch this. You're going to be in awe. You're going to get these buckets. You're going to see me will this team, and I'm going to win, and I'm going to strike fear. And every time I come to this court, I'm going to give it my all. And
Please
like
don't
Ev says, he
pause.
did.
Please don't pause when you say a sentence like that again. You have to pause
my
at a
bad,
different word. At a
Nah,
different
nah, I
word,
like
please.
that. I give it my
Pause.
Sorry. But like Ev was saying, he did have his, his issues and his faults here and there. But yeah, and still the product that was on the court was undeniable. And that's what I appreciated about Kobe. All the other things he had going on to me are just products of being human.
French. Exactly.
Yeah, products of being human. But when they came on the court, Kobe Bean Bryant never cheated the game. You never watched the game and questioned like what he was doing. Now you did watch a game where you saw he was frustrated. And what game was that, Christian? Where he kept passing it off just to prove that you guys can't do it without like
Oh, game
I-
7 of
That's game 7
2006 playoffs
Yep.
against the Suns.
yeah, the
Yep.
Suns. Yeah.
And he
You know,
still had like 30 plus points in that game, I think.
Yeah. But he was
exactly, but
the
that was until
pettiness.
the
I
end
love
of
it.
it
point,
though,
though.
right?
I
That
love
was
the
until end,
pettiness.
right? So
But
even with that, go ahead, Ev.
I'm gonna say you tried to say it clean right there. I'm gonna say the messy version of what you just said when you were saying the fringe stuff, the other stuff, right? Kobe Bryant was on trial for doing the wrong stuff in Colorado. Here's what's crazy about that. Kobe Bryant will fly from that trial to
from
playoff
Denver.
games
Yep.
and bust you for 40-some points straight off the
Mhm.
plane, straight off the
Yep.
helicopter. Like
Why his marriage
I
is
shouldn't-
falling apart.
I shouldn't have been applauding that, but to me, the audacity of what he was accomplishing at that time made me like him even more. I'm not gonna lie, that it was just crazy to me. The audacity to go for 81 points in the game, the audacity to go for 62 points in 3 quarters and then sit down.
The audacity to
Like-
shoot a free throw with a torn ACL. I mean, with a torn Achilles.
You know that story, right, Evan, with Brian Shaw in the 62-point game?
Tell it to me.
Brian Shaw asking Kobe, "You're gonna go back in the fourth?" And Kobe was like, "No, I'll get it. I'll get it another time." And he ended up getting 81 against the Raptors.
Like
Was it a couple
2
weeks
weeks
after?
later, 3
Yeah.
weeks later.
But those type of games, like you need like everything to go right, because the Lakers were losing that game against the Raptors. So
Mhm.
I mean, he had to shoot them back in, and then you have to have a stubborn coach like Dwayne Casey just refusing to double team him. So
Bro,
Yo,
at
I
what
couldn't.
point? What point do you not throw every player at this guy? At
He's
what
like,
point do you
no,
not say
he-
everybody else beat us except for him?
And here it's like it wasn't at 30, it wasn't at 40, it wasn't at 50, wasn't at 60. At 70, I'm a trip him. Okay. I'm not letting it get to 70. But all in all, man, all that we're saying here, and especially I know Hans and I we hated this man. But he was a perfect example of somebody you love to hate and hated to love. Without question, man, because it's like the secret admiration in terms of what he was doing on the floor. So many clips you could think of, man. I mean, everything that he did for the game, man. Like I said,
But that's what that's what Dwayne Casey was doing, admiring him,
That's
dropping
it.
81 at some point.
he wasn't
instead of
coaching, he was just watching. He's like,
He was
I
like,
dare you to
"Dang,
score
you seeing
more."
this?
he was
You
Darvin
see
Ham
that?
before Darvin Ham.
Oh,
Wow. Shots
I'm
fired.
gonna tell you
Christian,
something funny about what Lou just said about the admiring. What's funny about that is that's the way I was with Jordan, crazy enough. Probably because I was a Knicks fan and,
Knicks fan,
he
yeah,
spent
makes
a lot
sense.
of his prime beating my team. Like I never rooted for the Bulls, but in part because they were on TV all the time and because Jordan was so great. Like you had to respect, you had to watch. It was greatness playing itself out. So I think that really thawed me out for Kobe because it was like I can't hate this man. Now I didn't always root for him. You know, Kevin
Yeah.
Garnett's my favorite player of all time. So you know when they played the Celtics, Well, when they played in the playoffs, T-Wolves, 05, right? When they played the Nuggets in the playoffs, because you know how I am about Carmelo. When KG went to the Celtics, right? I mean, I didn't always root for Kobe. He was playing against a lot of players that I wanted to see do well.
Oh, yeah.
But
You could blame George Karl about those Denver Nuggets games.
oh,
By the
absolutely.
way.
Listen, that's another podcast. That's
Good
that's
word.
another
It's another
episode.
episode.
But even in when you weren't rooting for him, you were respecting what he was doing, you know. And another thing is the work ethic that he taught. You know, I named Melo, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. We've seen the story of
A redeem team. Yep.
the Redeem team when you know they were getting it in, and they see Kobe headed to the gym at 4 in the morning to get his work in, and you know D Wade and them, they think they good already, and they see, oh no, we're not there yet, right? Kobe's the one that turned that into, oh, everybody needs to be doing this. You know, Jordan was doing it, but he didn't turn it into everybody needed to be doing it. Kobe turned it into
Yeah.
this is league standard. And I think the league, from a training standpoint, is in a better place because of what Kobe passed on to the crew that came behind him. I got to give him that accolade as well.
Phony
Yes,
Don't
Zion
worry,
can catch
Hans.
on, man.
We get into the Laker hate in
Nah,
No,
I'm
just
about to
just a
no.
say.
minute. In
I
just
mean,
I'm
a
shaking my
minute.
head
It's
on.
coming.
Look at
I'm
Julius Randle,
shaking my.
Evan. Look at
Nah,
your own player.
I don't think
Let's
agree
talk
with
about
this. I
it,
don't
man.
necessarily say that worth
Julius ball.
necessarily translated, but
I mean, it's not there in the NBA now, but that's
no, not at
because they
all.
never were around Kobe, and the people who learned from Kobe as that work ethic never taught anyone else. So,
Or they really actually really didn't have it.
You don't
and I
think that
mean,
work ethic's there anymore?
there's a lot of like,
They
I
had
mean, no one
for the
practices
team.
anymore. Do
No,
teams practice anymore? It's just shoot around
barely,
and film at this point.
barely.
But
That's why
that
there's so
year
many.
round taking care of your body and
Personally, some guys do it personally.
I
Yeah, but
think
in terms,
personally, yeah, I think what we're seeing from the talent of the league and the talent of the youngsters, right, coming in and the ones that are good, I think
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the ones that
and
are good. So you're
yeah,
talking about your Tatums, your LeBrons, your
yeah.
KDs, even players who are on their way to being good. You can kind of see it. But I
yeah,
think also what Lou is kind of and Christian are saying is not enough players
no,
are doing it or buying into it to
yeah.
where
Oh, not
like
enough, not
I
enough
named one
kids.
And not as
Zion
a
not
team
buying
aspect.
into it.
Man, we know what he buying, but but this is all yeah. But all love to Kobe, man. As we start off this year, 24, man. So Mamba mentality, Mamba forever. You know what I mean? But let's get into
Right.
these
Chris,
Lakers.
Christian, I know you're always behind the scenes, but since you're a resident Laker expert here, we got to bring you to the forefront for this one.
And we'll
Kobe,
stay as long as we like.
Kobe during his time off retirement would always, be around the Laker teams, giving them knowledge and also with other players as well. And he'd always be interviewed about the state of the NBA and he'd share his critiques. What do you think Kobe would say about the Lakers right now if he was interviewed and asked, where does he see the team right now? What do you think Kobe's response would be to that?
Do you guys remember that infamous practice with Nick Young and Jordan Hill and Jeremy Lin?
Yeah.
He said something. What was it that he said?
What were his words, Christian? What were his words?
Y'all motherfucking soft.
That's Kobe, baby.
No,
All
I
right.
mean, I think he'd probably be more politically correct now. I mean, like
On camera.
after he retired, he kind of mellowed down. He wasn't as
Mhm.
forefront and bold and blunt as he was when he was playing.
Yes.
But
A whole nother side of Kobe, man.
yeah,
Lovable.
I think
Lovable.
I think I think he would be, and he was doing detail, on ESPN Plus. So I mean, he
Hmm.
was truly a student of the game. So I'm sure he would get way more into detail on like what the Lakers are not doing or what the Lakers are doing well and what they need to keep doing. And so it's kind of hard to be in that same mind as Kobe Bryant. I mean, I don't I don't have the basketball nuance as he does. So it's kind of tough. But I'm pretty sure he'd probably go that route. He'd probably pick and choose on what the nuances of the game and their offensive scheme or lack thereof that the Lakers have.
Okay, facts. Whatever happened to that? They got away from detail. Remember, it had its own little segment. I know they
Yeah.
kept it going
Well,
with other players as well too coming
Well,
in. Like,
Kobe
well,
passed,
well,
Hans. Kobe
Kobe
passed.
passed, and then Peyton Manning started doing the Monday Night Manning cast, and those were the primary
yeah, because
two
I know
that were
Peyton
doing the
did it. Yeah,
details.
it
Yeah.
So,
was Peyton and
And then Payne got the
yeah,
thing going on with his brother,
yes.
and then
So out of them two,
I feel
they
like
finally.
didn't someone do it for a little bit after Kobe
that's what I'm
passed
saying.
away?
Somebody did it after
I think
Kobe for a
I
bit.
think it was it Powell? I think Powell did it.
hmm.
Somebody did it after
Was
Kobe
it
because
like
they
a
kept it for a
I
homage
think
bit.
Powell
though?
did a couple of them.
Was it like a homage related, or was it?
No, I think
No, I
he was doing
distinctly
straight up
remember
detailed. I
like
think it was
they
Powell.
were doing
I'm like
detail without
99% sure it
Kobe.
was Powell. I'm pretty sure it was Powell.
They're doing it without Kobe. I thought it was a great aspect of the game for those of us who really like the, the microscope, the plays, the nuances of the game, who really just love that, who want to nerd out, in other words, about the game. I thought it was brilliant. And I thought, although I know nobody could replace Kobe, right? And how he would dissect the game. But I thought it was a great vantage point for the fans who are really about that knowledge of the game to keep going.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that they got rid of it.
Powell had did
And
it, AI had did it, and Miss Carter had done it.
yeah, Vince.
Vince did it.
But
Yeah,
also
Vince did it.
now, like, every show has their kind of version of it. All right, they just don't call it detail now. So like every show has
That's how
kind
it
of
goes, man.
hijacked it and got their version of it. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But I just love that package. I love when Manning did it too. But they grow, they do their own thing. So makes sense. But Christian, thank you for your insight, and Kobe basically saying that the Lakers are soft and he would not like how they are right now. But speaking of the Lakers, man, listen, there's trouble. There is trouble on the horizon. The Lakers currently are not doing well. They are not playing up to their everybody's expectations, and their last ooh, they're 2-8 in the last
In the
10.
last 10.
Yeah, they're currently, as we're recording, on a 4-game losing streak, and a notable loss against the Memphis Grizzlies, which everybody thought that that one should have been a for sure one. So with everything going on, LeBron leaving without
12.
You're throwing these
speaking.
everybody's out pretty strongly, okay? Everybody's expectations for the Lakers, I don't know. Everybody thought they would beat the Grizzlies, I don't know. But continue, sir. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, listen, man, I'm just speaking. Generally speaking,
On 12.
I was rooting for Memphis, but generally speaking,
Right? You better call 12.
listen, man, they ain't call him early enough because Jesus. So there's clearly so many problems and issues in Lakerland. So we do have our resident Laker expert on tap, and it's time for us to pick his brain. Christian, you have been vocal and voracious and very loud with your disdain and disgruntled hatred and loathe of Darvin Ham. Is that the problem? If the Lakers move on from Darvin Ham, will that fix the issue? Will that right the ship? Will everything come together? Will they be the team that you wanted them to be? Is Darvin Ham the issue?
It depends who takes over, but I am 99% sure it is the problem that Darvin's coaching. There's no offensive scheme, guys. There's his defensive scheme is even lacking. I mean, he was literally letting you guys. Sorry, when I say you guys, I'm talking to Evan because he's a Memphis Grizzlies supporter, not a fan, but a supporter, right? He was
He's
letting
a
them
Ja
shoot
fan.
open threes, and that was by design. It wasn't breakdowns or anything. He literally told our guys to leave those guys open because they like to play the percentages, you know, and don't get me wrong, you guys have some bum ass 3-point shooters this season, and all three of the three worst 3-point shooters on that team just went crazy, shot over 50% from three. So it's kind of like, what's if this keeps happening, something needs to change, and if you're not changing, you're just being stubborn. So if you're not changing your defensive scheme, you're not making adjustments. I mean, Jenkins made adjustments at halftime. He had JJJ play off Cam so he could roam better on defensively. I mean, just little adjustments like that can change the whole dynamic of how a team plays. Darvin just goes into a game with the plan in mind, and then just doesn't go away from it. He just says that
So what do you
you need to do this. You need to do what we set aside to do better, and it's never on him. It's always the players.
Is he ready for rapid fire, Hans?
I want to ask one follow-up question, and then you can start with the rapid fire, Evan.
Go
So
for it,
what do you
go
have to
for it.
say, Christian, to those who say, well, Darvin is the one who led you guys to the Western Conference Finals after he took over, righted the ship, headed you guys to the Western Conference Finals. So what do you have to say to those who say, well, that's the guy that got you there. Why don't you trust him to get you there again?
Kudos to him. I mean, he started D'Angelo, AR, Vando, LeBron, and AD during that run. And how many minutes have they played together this season?
No, you tell me. I don't watch the Lakers. So.
4 minutes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean,
So you don't trust this process,
and they never started. So they never started the season, and he can't blame injuries because they've been all healthy at some point. So, I mean, you could give credit to someone for last year and then also shun them for the BS that they're doing this year.
Okay. That's fair. You're holding him accountable. That's fair. That's fair. Go ahead, F.
So, in honor of the great Kobe Bryant, in this year of 24, I wanted to have 24 questions for our pod Mamba, but we didn't have the time for that. So
I'm not 50 Cent, bro.
We went with we had the music playing in the background, I almost sang for y'all. Listen, I almost did it.
We don't want to get sued, man. We get copyrights.
So,
man.
instead of 24 questions, we went with 8 questions. We're gonna run through them. We'll see if we make it through them all. If not, that's what we have OT for. So, Pod Mamba, you ready?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I'm kind of scared, but all right.
Don't be scared, man. You are
Mamba
a
mentality. You're never scared.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You're right.
Mamba mentality, man. Handle these, okay?
Are you the same beast and same animal?
What the fuck do you mean, Kobe Bryant?
What does that mean?
I love that commercial. I love it. Oh, man. All right, there we go. So, question 1, Christian. Since Darvin Ham is 99% the problem, who's the next coach going to be when they fire Darvin Ham?
I'm hoping it's
Doc Rivers?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Honestly, I'm kind of hoping it's Becky Hammond.
Oh,
you want to make history?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she's shown that she could lead her own
Okay.
team to multiple championships in the WNBA. I mean, I think it's time. I think it's time to kind of bring her over. If not, I mean, if you want to,
in the Knicks,
I mean,
that's heavy for the Lakers.
If you want
franchise,
if you want an interim after, like right after Darvin gets fired, I wouldn't mind Phil Handy taking over.
Okay. I see Becky going to the Spurs before she goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, man.
It's just a lot of limelight. That's
Greg,
going
Pop
0
was
to 100 real quick.
Pop was supposed to retire like last year. I mean,
well, they still got a tank this year, so
Exactly.
you got to get that out of his.
bro, he ain't going anywhere, bro. He's gonna be Donnie Nelson.
All right. Rapid fire. Focus, gentlemen. Focus.
My bad.
It's all good. Pod Mamba, you love this roster more than anybody that I know. What players on this roster will be on the final rendition of this team after the trade deadline?
The best Laker roster of all time.
I
All
don't
time.
appreciate
Don't trade
that slight.
anybody.
That's
Just play them
slight.
different
As-
minutes, okay?
That's not no.
Switch up the lineup. Switch up the line.
When you give us just trash trades, I say something. But I'm not gonna give up Rui and AR for big contracts that just because we want a 3-star system. I mean, that's not gonna work. I'm not a proponent of a 3-star system. So would I want any trade? Of course. I mean, I want but edges stuff. Like I want a perimeter point of attack defender. I want a backup center. Kind of those type of players. I don't want to be trading depth or key players, rotational players for star players because then what? Then we're gonna be playing vet min guys. It's gonna be 2022 all over again.
I'll give some quick context to your comments real quick. About an hour or so before the show, I sent you a trade. I said I hadn't seen it anywhere. I wanted your thoughts on it. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, the young Jerry West himself, and Torian Prince for Donovan Mitchell. Can't take place until January 15th.
Why do you call
Right.
AR the next Jerry West? Why do you do that, man?
My fault. The first Austin Reeves. I apologize. The one and only Austin Reeves.
I know what you're doing,
apologize.
Evan. I don't appreciate it.
Oh, listen. We are having fun tonight. But your response was no, you would not do that trade if you were the Lakers. To your point of saying you don't believe in a 3-star system. I'm gonna throw a couple more names out to you real quick. Actually, I'm gonna throw one more name out to you real quick. You've already thrown out the Zach LaVine thought. Pascal Siakam, would that be somebody you're interested in?
Who are we giving up?
Who would you give up for Pascal Siakam?
I mean, no one, because all he does is spin around. Me and
This
Hans
same
are
trade-
on the same page with Pascal. So I mean,
Pascal, one spin move, Siakam, baby.
one spin move, Siakam.
So just to drill down to the roster, final roster, if you could have your ideal roster, what would it be?
Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson. Yes. What?
Can we bring back the 2020 squad? Can we do that? I mean that's a hard question. I just don't think they're the players that are being put out there right now as far as trade bait. I just don't think is the problem with the squad. So I mean,
Okay.
again, it's just like edges stuff. It's get a Alex Caruso, get a Andre Drummond, kind of, and I'm not just picking on the Bulls. I'm just saying like,
Yo, just focus on your own food, man. Leave my plate alone.
Get off your plate.
You say you got to fight back.
Evan brought up the Donovan Mitchell trade an hour before the show. I mean, I brought this up before. Jared Allen would be a great center to bring in for the Lakers. Someone like that. Someone who's not owed a lot of money. Someone I could trade that bum ass Gabe Vincent out for.
Okay, so
Wow.
that's basically what we say. Who are your
There we go.
dispensable roster pieces?
Well, I'm just tired of
that's-
these. I'm just tired of these ex Miami players coming to Lakers and all of a sudden
That's
just like
what
out
that
for the
has to-
season.
Who are your
everything to do
dispensable
with.
players?
Gabe
So we've
Vincent,
got Gabe Vincent on your list. We've got Torian
Prince,
on your list. Who
Cam.
else? Who
I
else
think
is on your list?
Cam's expendable.
Okay.
If the player's right, God, and I don't want to do it, I think Vando's expendable.
Oh,
Even though we just signed him. But
Yeah,
if
he can't be traded till March. That one might be tough.
is it till March? Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, I don't think you can even trade him. But that's why I
that's
brought
fine.
up
I'm gonna keep
Siakam, because
Vando.
I'm like, Siakam, I feel like is 150% of Vanderbilt. But that's just me.
But does Siakam defend like that?
he does decently.
I don't know, man.
I mean, this year does Vanderbilt
Because
defend like
you have
that?
to again, we're talking about a LeBron-led offense.
Okay.
Is
Let's move on to
Siakam-
the next question.
Is Siakam gonna be straight up a spot up shooter? Because
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I give you guys an alley for the segue, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Thank you. You did, because let's jump to this question. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Is LeBron's greatness the Lakers' Achilles heel? take greatness wherever you want to go, sir.
I think it's a large part. I wouldn't say it's all of it. It's a big majority because LeBron, I keep on hearing LeBron needs all these shooters around him, but we keep getting players that have great 3-point shooting seasons just to play like shit when they come here. So is there a Lakers curse? Is it the LeBron system? Is it the offensive scheme, the 5-out, that there's no movement, off ball, there's nothing, there's no screen, there's no pin downs, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's I feel it's just a lot, but LeBron does bring a lot of baggage when it comes to that, because when things aren't going right, he gets passive aggressive. You get passive aggressive with LeBron. Start seeing the body language. Then the players, his teammates, start seeing that, and then they play a certain way, and then it's like, oh my god, look at the Lakers, they suck. But then when you see the first half of yesterday's game, or was it yesterday? No, 2 days against the Memphis, when LeBron was making a point to be engaging, the team looked great.
Hey, man, he's 40, man. Can't do that all game.
Okay, I don't need that. I don't need that excuse from LeBron, because
He's 39, man.
okay,
Come
but
on.
if
Man.
but you're the leader, you're always going to be the leader. You can't say, "Well, I'm 40. I don't want to have the reins of this team anymore. I want to give it."
Leaders don't get tired, Christian.
He is a top 3 player in NBA history.
It's
You
hard,
can't
man.
just
105
be
years old
like,
when he fought
you can't
Rocky
just be like,
Marciano.
"Oh, I turned 40. I'm just going to be one of the guys. I just want to be a role player." You can't
How
do
old are
that.
you, Christian? How old are you? You're not 30 yet, right?
I'm
You're not 30.
54.
You're not 30 yet.
I'm
So you don't
I'm,
know about it. You don't know
I'm
about that
60.
cliff,
I'm
man, when it
62.
hits you.
I'm
You don't know about that
62.
cliff when it hits you, man. When you get home and you don't recover like you used to, and you got to ice things you've never iced before. And so I say this, I say it
Again,
jokingly.
what does that have to do with how you
No, you're
start
right.
playing the game, how you set a
Set
tone?
the tone. Yeah.
You're right, but you're right. You're right. You're right 100%. But I think what they haven't figured out, which I guess I may be supporting your Darvin Ham theory, is every other team that LeBron has been on, it's been constructed to where when he does, and LeBron has it. I was a LeBron fan before he went to the Lakers, like huge fan before he went to the Lakers. And now he's dead to me. But on every team that he plays, he has his moments where he kind of just, for some reason, just fades. And I don't know if he's tired or he's just trying to figure it out. But he's been blessed to where the other person on his team or the coach has developed a system to where they can play through it. They either have more movement, which you've excellently brought up, Christian, right? They don't have enough movements to screen off balls to free up these so quote unquote shooters to make life easier for them, because that's what LeBron sells to his shooters, right? Hey, come play with me. I'll make life easy for you. He's not making life easy for his shooters right now. So, you're playing video games and your little energy bar goes down, right? And you need the time to boost up on your the Lakers need to figure that out. I think that having an Anthony Davis, it should be all Anthony Davis when that happens. But hey, I'm not the coach. That's not my team. I think I should keep doing what y'all doing, in my opinion. But hey, who am I? That's
You
just
hitting
my
the nail
take
on the
that.
head, bro. Every other team that he been on, when he has his, absentee moments, which he inevitably will, there's another stuff to slack. And there's not enough focus on the fact that AD has not stepped up in a leadership capacity at any point.
I think another part of that as well, and we can't gloss over it because you pointed it out. He's 39 years old. LeBron used to be able to drop 40 points to get through these lows that his teams were having, even while they were figuring it out. He doesn't have that gear anymore. So although the accounting stats look good, the 25 points a game, it sounds good to be at 39 years old, but when your peak, so to speak, of the season is, I can push to get you 33 or 34, and you're not getting that 43 and 44 anymore to overcome the team's weaknesses. This is where you end up with the LeBron team. AD's having a strong year, but
Yeah, facts.
It's
The best
not
year
the
of his career.
numbers, leadership capability. right?
True.
That's all just strictly what I'm speaking on.
Christian, we do appreciate you taking care of all our Laker doubts and concerns that we have on this show because, we're always so concerned about these Lakers here on this 3-on-3 podcast. Thank you for that.
Are we gonna have
We
a
will
third segment on the Lakers?
Lakers or bust.
we
Just
well,
so
we
happens
This is
have
my
we
favorite
kinda-
show so far. This is my favorite show.
This is your favorite show so far? Well, it's about to get even better, Christian. So you hold on because we're going to talk about the better LA team, which is the Clippers. The
You're the-
true.
Oh,
Hold on. Wait,
You're the
wait.
fucking
In the
worst, you know
last
that?
in the last 10, you said the Lakers were 2-8. What's the
Yes.
other LA team in the last 10?
Well,
Oh, they're 8-2.
as
They're
we
8-2.
record the Clipper and Laker game is playing. So I mean, I'm kind of hoping that we lose this game so Darvin could get the fuck
Really?
out of here.
Why?
I need that motherfucker out of here, bro. I need Scam. I need Pockets out of
Yo.
here.
Yo, he is plotting on ham
I need
shot,
Honey
bro.
Big Tam up and out of here, bro. I've had enough. After he talked shit about the Lakers fans, it was donezo in my mind.
Oh, so you took that personally.
100%. I think all of us. I've never seen Laker Nation get together off one guy ever before, even more than Luke Walton.
I was about to say, Luke, they
I'd rather have
took
Luke
him to
right
the
now,
ringer.
honestly. I'd rather.
Yeah, but
Wow,
yeah.
you'd rather have Luke right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that says a lot.
Goodness.
I'd rather have
gracious.
the guy who let Tim Thomas open at the 3 in 2006 coach this team.
Tim Thomas
And-
was solid though, yo.
I mean,
Can
but
I-
Luke
can I
Walton's the
just say
reason.
something?
Luke
Milwaukee,
Walton's the
Tim
reason
Thomas was that
why.
guy.
Luke Walton's the reason why we didn't beat the Suns in 06. I'm just saying.
I
You
need
know
to
that.
say something very quickly. When you're coming up, learning basketball, and y'all are a little bit younger than me. So I use a couple things as example. When you're growing up writing, and you learn cursive, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you grow up learning basketball and you learn the bank shot, shooting it
Mhm.
off the glass. And it's taught that, that's supposed to be the fundamental, the easiest, the most successful way to shoot
Yeah.
the ball, right? Why haven't we seen any player, at least in this era, since Tim Duncan, just make a habit of shooting the ball off the glass, especially from the places that Tim Duncan shot it from, if it's supposed to be the more efficient shot to take?
Well,
Why is Tim
it's
Duncan's bank
because
shot an anomaly rather than the norm?
I
Stephen
think
Curry.
I think the game has evolved to 3-point shooting, where shooting high volumes of 3. So
Wardell.
yeah, basically, the stats say shoot more 3s.
Well, I mean,
You'll
even
have
just
a-
big men though, like Tim would just,
They're shooting
But-
threes.
feel you on his back, spin, jab, step, boom, off the glass, 2 points. It could be
Your
from 7 feet
favorite
to
big
15
man,
feet.
Your favorite big man, Joel Embiid.
Listen, man.
Your favorite big man, Joel Embiid, will multiple times step away from that block, face up,
Yeah,
hit
fit
you
away.
with a J, hit you with a 3. I think it's just at the end of the day, they don't find it to be a efficient way of scoring. They'd rather play the odds and throw it out to the 3 or start from the 3-point line and work their way down. I, for one, think it's a mastercraft level of the game. Because
Absolutely.
the angles that you have to play,
All
as
physics.
one who's played him in the post myself, you have to practice that. You have to practice which shoulder and then the distances where you're hitting it. You're hitting it on the top corner of the box, depending on how far you're out. Who shows me, and I hate to say it, and I know we're supposed to be talking about them, which this may be my segue, who shows me weekly that they need to practice at that is Russell Westbrook. He is the worst at shooting that diagonal, that elbow
Yeah, that little
bank
bank
shot.
shot. Yeah.
He misses it bad all the time. And I want to say, that's not a shot you just take in the
No.
game. You
It's a
literally have to
it's a dead
practice
art.
that.
Not even a
You
dead.
have
Yeah.
to practice that and just
Mhm.
do it repetitively.
Because even the
'Cause you have to
touch,
know when
how
to hit it.
hard you do, right? I mean, all of that. Even the greats who could put a little bit of spin on it. I mean, as you said in another episode, how to put the proper English. On that, man. It's it's a skill. It's a skill. I think the
Yeah.
only person that you kind of see do it is Joker, and that comes from the European aspect of learning the game. But you're
Russell
right.
Westbrook is going to come out 5 years after his career and admit that he had Tommy John surgery, tore
Mm,
UCL or something like
I could see that.
in the 7-8 year range of his career. Because Russell Westbrook used to be able to shoot. It wasn't, I mean, he's always been sub 30s from three, but like the first half of his career, he was high 80s, approaching 90 from free throw. He his shot wasn't broke, and then just 1 year he came back, and his shot was broke. It's like he hired the wrong shooting coach or something, but it went away and it never came back. And it's always been a very fascinating thing to me of what happened to his shot and how do you lose your shot, like to the point of what you're saying, like he takes shots where it literally looks like
It
bricks.
looks horrible.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
bad.
It's
It's
And that
worse
wasn't
than Tristan Thompson video
yeah.
bad. Like it's bad.
But the point
And
about the injury thing reminds me of Markel when they didn't want to admit that he got hurt, and you were seeing him shoot. You're like, what?
But
Mhm.
at the same time, though, that makes sense, Ev, because Russell is that old school player. There's no excuses. If I'm out here, I'm out here. I'll
Mhm.
figure it out. So I can definitely see that coming, and that would make a hell of a lot sense. But Russell's also the type, he doesn't care. He doesn't care too much. He believes that he can get the bucket in so many different ways. And if he just goes out there and plays hard every lay, may the chips fall where they lay, right?
He
He's
has
definitely
amnesia
that
real
type of
quick.
player. Yeah, he listen, because I agree with you. Matter of fact, he's one of the reasons where I started to do the free throw bank shot. Like, because he would come in fast break, stop at the free throw and bank it. Like, I started to do that because I was like, yo, that's an ill shot. Like,
High
let's do
percentage,
that.
duh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like let's get that. And yeah, to see that dissipate to where like he completely misses the backboard. It's so bad. But it tells you it's a craft. It really is. You got to play those angles. There's some sport to it. Let's I don't want to be remiss and not mention the Clippers. They're doing great, 8-2. Kawhi did suffer a hip injury, a collision. I was watching that game. I was like, oh, here we go again. But he's back, and they did lose a couple games without him being there. Their defense was bad, which makes sense. Kawhi is known for his defense as well, but they're back on track and they're making things happen. I'm scared and happy at the same time. I'm happy that they're excelling, but I'm also scared just because of the history of the team, of the Clippers. And it's like you're kind of waiting for the crash to happen. And not just because it's the Clippers, too, but also one that they just acquired James Harden as well. So, do you guys have your thoughts on the Clippers and them being currently fourth in the West right now?
I'm honestly surprised, you know. But also to your point of waiting for the other shoe to drop, we've seen the successes with Harden as the system of the team. Great regular season, poor turnout, and will come postseason because the style of play associated with James Harden just isn't sustainable for a postseason run. I mean, I'm just really curious to see if they all can stay healthy, and if they are, to see how they figure that out going into the postseason, especially if they can stay as top 5 team. But I'll be honest, I didn't expect this post the Harden trade. I thought they were going to crash and burn.
Ev, do you think Tyronn Lue is a good enough coach to overcome the James Harden experiment?
So I was about to make two observations on the Clippers, and T. Lue was going to be one of those observations. There's not too many coaches that could come back from a start to a roster shift that the Clippers had. They post James Harden trade, they came out looking terrible. Um, but what ended up happening was we were asking the wrong questions, and T.
Hmm.
Lue figured out the right answers. And what I mean by that is we were all concerned with what this big four is going to do, right? And listen, You could say Russell Westbrook volunteered. He may have been voluntold. He may have been suggested,
They know.
whatever. I give Ty Lue a ton of credit because there's not too many coaches that could have made that adjustment work. We saw Russell Westbrook in the other LA locker room, okay,
Across
a
the
year
hall.
or two ago across the hall. They couldn't make that work. I give Ty Lue a lot of credit for that. The chemistry that this team is building, right? Best record in the league since December. Um, I give Ty Lue a lot of credit for that, right? So yes, Ty Lue is one of the. I mean, Ty Lue just in this alone, I think has shown his value as a head coach. The other side of it is what we're seeing. We shouldn't really be surprised because what we're seeing is simply what Kawhi Leonard and Paul George look like when they're healthy at the same time. And then you add James Harden in there,
So
who
simple
is
but true.
healthy, right? It's just simple. It's the team that we thought we would be seeing since 2019. We just haven't
Oh
seen it in
man.
consistent stretches, right? So, Kawhi back to looking like one of the best two-way players in the league. I mean, dominating. Paul George has, he's been on this consistent run now for really for like 3 years, but he's healthy, and James Harden. Listen, James Harden couldn't get by people in Philly, okay, the last 2 years. All right. The truth of the matter is that dribble, 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 step back was all he had in Philly because he wasn't faking them with the step back and then getting into the hole like he used to. Right. James Harden has rediscovered some of that. He's looks quicker than he's looked the past 2 years, but also he's the third option now. And so he's able to do it off of an off balance defensive rotation. And then when he's not, he's been a great passer now. I mean, his whole career. So he's feeding it to two all stars, two superstars at that fact. So I mean, what we're seeing is a healthy Clippers team. What we're all saying is, will this healthy Clippers team last? Now I'm gonna give somebody here credit, and I'm not gonna make a backhanded compliment. The
That's not like
one
you, Av.
I
Be
know, I
yourself, man.
know.
Be yourself, man. Be
That's why I
yourself, man.
had to announce that I wasn't gonna do it. That's how hard it is for me not to do it. But my boy Hans himself picked the Clippers to. I forget exactly what you picked them to be. You
They're gonna be
picked them
the
to be
finished top 5.
top five. I think it was better than that. I think
Was
your
it?
initial
They're
submitted
gonna
was
finish
top
top in the
three.
West. Yeah,
Okay,
top in the
yeah,
West.
I think you had them top
I
in the
remember
West.
top in the West.
I wanted to say you almost had them coming out the West. I may be giving you too much credit now, but you
Did I
picked
have
them
them
though.
coming out the West?
I'll go back and look, man. Okay,
No,
you
because I had the Denver Nuggets
I had
winning
them coming out the
again.
West.
no.
He had
You had them coming out the West. Okay, I
looted.
know we
I
had
had
two
the Nuggets
different. I
winning.
know we had two
Before
different solid Clipper
before,
picks, and these were
yeah.
before the Harden trade. So I say that to say all we were saying was that it's been 5 years. These guys have to be healthy together at some point. I think was the essence of what both of you were banking on, that
Yeah.
eventually you two will be healthy.
Hoping,
And that's what we're seeing
hoping
right
and
now.
Have
praying and
some
wishing.
pride in your health.
Exactly. So they're healthy right now. That's what we're seeing.
Listen, man, that's some. I praise it. I praise it, man. It's good basketball. The West is solid. They're strong. It's, as F said a couple of weeks ago, the Wild Wild West out here. Every West matchup, especially if it's the top, and with Memphis surging right now, the West is must see TV. It is must see TV. I will say this, signing off. Have you guys seen the Nike Kobe Bryant commercials this year?
I have.
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of
Have you
folks
seen
wearing
that?
his shoes. No, I saw he had a new shoe drop, but I haven't seen the commercial. No, tell me about it.
So, they're doing a Mamba mentality
Mhm.
run right now, and they're having different, um, basically younger players who are exhibiting that Mamba, that Kobe mentality. And I just have to shout this out. My favorite one is the one with the young boy D'ing up the other guy on the playground. So he's supposed to be the Kobe-like character, and he's D'ing up this player. He's talking trash, and he's like, "Oh yeah, give him the ball, give him the ball." So the guy gets the ball, he throws it back, right? And then he runs, he cuts across, and the young boy's like, "Oh, don't run now, don't run now."
Mm.
As he runs across the court, a player comes to set a pick, and the guy just mows him down. I love every bit of that because it's Kobe-esque. So he's talking trash. The guy kicks the ball back out, cuts. Kobe-like player saying, "Don't run now." Mows over the guy who sets the pick and D's him up against like, "Come on, I'm right here."
Let's
Like,
go. Let's go.
I love every bit of that. It encompasses everything that you love and hate about Kobe too, because he's gonna talk trash about you. He's gonna play you rough and aggressive and mow you down, and he's gonna be on your heels the whole game. So shout out to Nike. I think that is clever marketing. That is great. Just to see how the Mamba mentality lives on. So I just love that, man. I want to sign off with that. That's
Shout
great.
out to my boy Manny, who's working on that side right now.
Yeah, man. Luke got the insides. Lou knows everybody. Man.
Plug.
Shout out.
Yo,
out
chill
to
out,
Lou,
chill,
man.
chill,
Plug.
chill, chill.
Lose that guy, man. He's the plug, man. Get that
Here
plug
we
off,
go.
man.
Here we go. Here we
But
go.
guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it as always. You can check out our overtime segment, which will be on YouTube for further content. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really, really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 Podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? Hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.